Hey everybody, it's Maggie from Personal Euphoria with today's plank story. So if you don't want to do plank today, because this is going to be a long one, so even if you do plank, it's one of those days to do like a straight arm plank and then a side plank for a little while. Don't try to do plank for the whole thing. But otherwise, have your feet somewhere and your hands on a base, and then keep your hands and feet fixed. And I know you can't really see that, but move every way possible without moving your hands and feet. So everything can wiggle, wave, move, and try to make that as unique as possible without moving your hands and feet. All right, so the plank story. So Matt and I and my brother and my friend Kate, we finally got to go on the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser. So if you're going between now and September, there will be spoilers here. And now I am not a Star Wars fan. I was on this because I love Matt, who's very much a Star Wars fan. But I will say it's a fully immersive, interactive experience. So you sleep there 2 nights and everything about it seems real. So the moment you enter what I think was an elevator, but it's your shuttle to your intergalactic starship for the weekend, it's just, the setting is unbelievable. You have windows in your shuttle and you're seeing space, and then you come out into the lobby, because the premise is you're going on an intergalactic cruise, but the First Order is going to take over for a time, and you're going to have to rescue Chewie, and Rey's going to come and need your help, to save the galaxy. But you step out into this lobby, and it's just so impressive, and you look over the bridge and you can see out into space, and as you maneuver and the story lines up, all the windows line up with the story and what you should be seeing in space. And your bedroom window looks out into space, and inside you have this computer where you can tune into this droid, and she will tell you about the day and give you a bedtime story. So there's a bar, there's multiple layers, there's 100 rooms, there's guest services, there's a gift shop like there would be on a cruise, there's a dining hall, a cargo room, an engineering room. And throughout the story, you're going to potentially wind up in all these different places for the purpose of the story playing out. So great. The crew is fabulous. They're all in character, and so they use different terms, and it's like they're from Star Wars, and you play along. And the actors, I'm still unbelievably impressed with, because so for 2 days, they basically put on day 1 and day 2, each an 8-hour play. So it's like a 16-hour play altogether. They've got memorized lines, and they move and progress the story along with each other. Meanwhile, when they don't have lines and they're not engaging with other characters, they're engaging with the audience, who are all sort of playing their own made-up character in space, and it's all improv. They're all improvising, and the actors were great at that, right? The first time they meet you, they don't know your name, but after that, every time they engage with you, they call you by name, which still freaks me out a little bit, and I don't know how they do it. I don't know if someone's watching and in their ear, because they did have earbuds, they're like, oh, that's Maggie, or if my magic band notified them. But if me and Kate walked up at the same time, they'd look at me and say, hi, Maggie, hi, Kate, and I don't know how they differentiate. So that was phenomenal. An interesting piece that was hard to get used to is it's this choose your own adventure. So you're going to make choices both on your phone and when you engage with the actors, and that's going to set you down a certain path. You can be a good guy, a bad guy, a Jedi, a smuggler, or follow this love interest story. And as you get to the end, everybody has the same grand finale, but each storyline has its own finale. And if you don't do the right things to get to the end of the stories, you won't see them. They don't let you in. You're not on the list, the trusted list. You don't get in, and you don't see that path. So that's interesting, because it's very encouraging, and a lot like life, about picking the path and what choice do you want to make. And we all can't go every way. And are you struggling with the choice you have to make? And then they encourage you and say, talk to other passengers. What do you want to do? Even if you miss out, so you hear about it from somebody else. One of my favorite parts was that there's a lot of improv, and improv is not easy. But both the actors and the other audience members were so generous and like encouraging. Like everybody wanted everyone to win, right? So even if someone stumbled or messed up, like you wanted everybody to have success with their improv and playing around and the silliness of this. So on that hand, it's phenomenal. And really, it's a very cool, interesting experience. That being said, I totally understand why it's failing and they're closing in September. Although perhaps it's a political move, I don't know. But if it's not, if they really are failing, I'm not sure this is up everybody's alley. And it's extremely intense. It took me like 3 hours to figure out how to play the game. And I had my brother who'd done it before. And then it's just, if you're at all introverted, and people are often surprised to learn I am, it's exhausting, but you don't want to miss it. So you're going along and you're forcing yourself to do it. But I don't think that's everyone's cup of tea. I actually think it would be more successful if this were like a one-day event, like long day, because the story is great and there's a lot of fun to be had. But I get why it's not making it. But anyway, I am so grateful and glad in the end we got to do it. It was a great experience. I think Matt had a wonderful time. And so we can now add to our list of travels, a galaxy far, far away. As always, thank you for listening and keep moving.